Let's talk about making a donation to your trust or to a trust. There is a massive misconception out there that you can make a donation to yourself, meaning a donation to your own living trust, so to speak. And people might be saying, oh wait, no, I have an irrevocable legacy trust. Okay, well, we can talk about that too. And I might be able to poke holes in the fact that your irrevocable legacy trust is not truly an irrevocable legacy trust. Why do I know that? Because I have had firsthand experience working with somebody who promoted this concept, and it's incorrect. So let's correct the record and get everyone straight about what the IRS says around a donation and how they categorize and classify donations, and whether or not they would tear apart your legacy trust. Granted, this is all like if you end up in controversy, which is, we hear that the IRS is cracking down on certain types of entities. We also hear they're going away. I don't know. I don't know what the IRS is doing. And truly, my opinion on that is anyone who says they know what is going on in the IRS is just making a guess, because the IRS doesn't even know what they're doing. Whoa, my phone's shaking. The IRS doesn't even know what they're doing. I mean, you call the EIN department and they can't tell you what another department is doing. So let's be real about what is truly going on in the IRS. None of us know. So let's talk about a donation to, hold this. Let's talk about a donation to a trust. The IRS considers a donation a true donation and an item, an expense, so to speak, that you can write off on your taxes if you're doing a tax return, that is. If it is a completed gift. Okay, what makes it a completed gift? A completed gift means you can't benefit from it. So if I make a donation to my own living trust, and then the living trust pays my cell phone bill, am I benefiting from it? Hell yeah, I am. If I go and buy dinner or pay for gas with that living trust, I'm benefiting from it. So I sure as heck cannot make the claim that I made a donation, regardless of whether you do an adults arts and crafts project and you create this really cute little invoice, or a donation receipt that says so-and-so made a cash donation receipt. Please don't do that. Please don't make bad choices and get yourself into controversy with the IRS over doing something stupid like that. Please, please, please don't. If you want to make a donation to a trust, here's how you go about doing it. You have to have multiple trusts, first of all. Anyone who tells you that you only need one trust is full of shit, okay? You cannot move assets around in the private, and you take it, let me see, do I want to use the word take advantage of, or utilize the benefits of, say it that way. You cannot enjoy the benefits of these tricks if you have one trust. You cannot enjoy the benefits of these loopholes, right? And they are loopholes. They're not illegal in any way. They are there for a reason. They are there for us to utilize because we are knowledgeable around them. There's nothing wrong with using these tax loopholes and having assets go from one entity to another. That is the beauty of what we are able to do here in America. I have a Canadian colleague, and they have a very different set of guardrails in a way that they have to follow, because they can't do what we can do here in America. So let's go back to the donation. If you want to make a donation to an entity, it has to be a completed gift. If I take clothes to Goodwill, I can't go back to Goodwill and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'd like those clothes back. They're like, I'm sorry, you donated them to Goodwill. You can't get them back. If we make a donation to, a conservation group or whatever donation you make, you can't go back and say, hey, I'd like my donation back. It's no different. So think about that same concept then when you are thinking about donating to your own trust. So here's how we can do it. You have to set up a true, irrevocable trust, an irrevocable legacy trust. Okay, what is a true, irrevocable legacy trust? A true, irrevocable legacy trust means that you are managing it for the benefit of the beneficiaries, but you cannot benefit from it. You cannot have that legacy trust pay your cell phone bill. It cannot pay, for food or gas or anything like that. You cannot live out of it. And the BS that so many people out there are saying is total garbage, and it is going to get people in trouble. And I hope you are not one of them, because I hope you pay attention, and I hope you don't fall into those traps. So you can be the trustee. You are managing it for your lineal heirs. Okay, your lineal heirs are your sons and daughters, your grandsons and granddaughters, and so on and so forth. Okay? If it is truly set up as a non-statutory legacy trust, and non-statutory, again, another bogus myth BS out there, is a non-statutory trust is not only set up by a non-statutory agent. A non-statutory trust has non-statutory language in it. I am not an attorney, and I'm not a lawyer. I would never, ever, ever do that. I am technically a non-statutory agent. I'm a private trust consultant. That's it. However, I'm a non-statutory agent. If I went on to, all kinds of things, even AI, and said, could you create a trust for me? It's going to create a statutory trust. The language is statutory. The beneficiaries are most likely going to be the names of your sons and daughters. Okay? Maybe, and if you asked AI to create it, it is probably going to create a grantor's trust, meaning you are the grantor and the trustee, and then it's going to ask you who are the beneficiaries, and it's going to want you to put in your kids' names. Well, that's statutory. I'm sorry, it's statutory. What is the governing law? Statutory. You got to be careful of these things. So please ask questions about a lot of things before you blindly follow anything. So going back to donations, sorry, I've got a lot of roundabouts that I want to talk to you guys about. A donation has to be a completed gift. So I could donate to my legacy trust money, okay? I can manage it for the benefit of my son and daughter's living trusts, okay? I'm going to